Now we know you want to pass the STAR writing test, and the main thing standing in your way is learning how to write an introductory paragraph. This PowerPoint will show you how to make an effective introductory paragraph. What is the most important sentence in any essay? The first one. Well, the reason is you never get a second chance to make a first impression. The first time you meet someone, you'll always remember what you thought. The same thing with writing. The first sentence tells the reader whether or not you're a good writer, a great writer, or someone who probably needs a little extra help. Some of my favorite strategies for attention grab sentences are to use a question, a shocking statement, a historical statement, a quote, or a vivid definition. And I'll go further into each of these during this PowerPoint. A question makes the reader think. It's appropriate for both expository and literary essays. There's a couple examples there. What will happen if carbon dioxide emissions continue at their current levels? And for a history paper, why did the South secede from the Union? Now it's your turn to practice. I'd like you to write a question to start a paper about school uniforms. This can be either in favor of or against, it doesn't matter, just make a question. You can pause this PowerPoint at any time if you need extra time to write. Now the next strategy we're going to talk about is a shocking statement. Shocking statements are very effective at gaining the reader's interest, and you don't necessarily need to agree with what you write on the shocking statement. As teenagers, this will come very natural to you, and it's useful for both expository and literary essays. An example of this is all illegal aliens or immigrants should be placed in jail. Now, the writer doesn't necessarily agree with that, but it's enough to grab the attention. And then you could even write the rest of the paper on how that mindset was incorrect. Now it's your turn to practice. Write a shocking statement to start an essay about school violence. Again, you can pause this PowerPoint at any time if you need extra time to write. Now we'll move on to the third strategy, which is a historical statement. Historical statements include phrases such as since the beginning of time, for hundreds of years, for decades, always, usually, never. They can be used for either type of essay, meaning expository or literary, but they're most effective in expository essays. Please remember that an expository essay is the one where you're explaining a topic. The literary is where you're telling a story. An example of this is, since the beginning of mankind, we have gazed at the heavens and wondered about the stars above. Well, obviously, the rest of this expository essay would probably be about the stars or the planets, etc. The main thing to remember with historical statements is they use one of those phrases mentioned above. Now it's your turn to practice. I'd like you to write a historical statement to start a paper about education. Remember to pause this video if you need extra time. Now on to the fourth strategy, which is to use a quote. These are best for expository essays, usually when they come from a famous person, such as Gandhi. An example of this is a quote from Gandhi that says, "I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. The evil it does is permanent." And so then you would be writing an expository essay about how violence is wrong. You can also use a quote for literary essays, but usually when you do that, you're quoting something a character often says. For example, from the movie Forrest Gump, Mama always says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Now it's your turn to practice. This time you're going to be using two quotes. The first one is I would like you to write a quote to start an expository essay about peace. Remember to find a quote from a famous person about peace. Then I would like you to write a quote to start a literary essay about your family, meaning you could quote any of the characters or family members. Please pause this video if you need more time. Now, the next strategy is to use a vivid description. A vivid description describes a scene or character utilizing many adjectives and adverbs. It can include figurative language. That means metaphors, similes. It gives the reader mental imagery. It is most effective for literary essays, but it can be used for expository writing. An example of this is the lightning cracked, the thunder boomed, and the wind howled in the distance. If you remember, this is much like watching a horror film, where you hear the music, the creaking of the stairs, and you know something bad's about to happen. The producer gives you a real vivid image leading up to what the rest of the movie is going to be. You're doing the same thing with a vivid description as the first sentence of your essay. Now it's your turn to practice. I'd like you to write a vivid description to start an expository essay about fear. Please remember, expository is explaining, not telling a story. Then I would like you to write a vivid description to start a scary story. Please pause the video if you need extra time. Now that you've written a first sentence attention-grabbing strategy, what you'll need to do is to write 2 or 3 sentences about your topic to form a bridge to the thesis statement. Your introductory paragraph cannot only consist of just the first sentence to grab the attention in the thesis statement. The 2 or 3 sentences in the middle are very important and serve as a bridge between grabbing the reader's attention and then telling them what the rest of the paper is going to be about. Now we'll move to the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. This is the thesis statement. The thesis statement is very vital to passing star writing. If you leave off a thesis statement, specifically in an expository essay, you will not pass. They will dock you significantly for doing so. So it's very important that this is included. And the thesis statement is one sentence that contains 3 parts. And those 3 parts are the topic, the claim, and the supporting details. The topic is what you're writing about. In this sentence, factory farms are unsanitary and cruel, specifically with their treatment of chicken, cattle, and pigs. Factory farms is the topic in this thesis statement. It's what the sentence is about and what the essay will subsequently be about. The next part of the thesis statement is the claim. The claim is what you believe about the topic. For example, why are you writing the paper in the first place? In this sentence, factory farms are unsanitary and cruel is what the author believes. That is their claim, and then we'll spend the rest of the essay writing about. The last part of the thesis statement is the supporting points or details. These are the things that back up your claim, like your proof. They will become the topics for your body paragraphs. In the sentence that we've been using, treatment of chicken, cattle, and pigs are the supporting details. They will be then discussed in further detail in the body paragraphs. Now it's your turn to practice. Write a thesis statement using this information. Your topic will be homework. Your claim is that it should be eliminated, which most of you probably agree with. And your supporting points are busy work, no help to complete at home, and interferes with extracurricular activities. Remember, a thesis statement is one sentence that combines all 3 items: topic, claim, supporting points. Pause the video if you need more time. Your thesis statement should look similar to this. Homework should be eliminated due to no help to complete it at home. It interferes with extracurricular activities, and it is often busy work. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, but all three items should be included, and it should end with the list of the three supporting details. Now your assignment. Send an email to your instructor with the attention-grabbing sentences you created during this lesson. You will also need to write an original thesis statement for a paper about college. You will now choose your claim and supporting points. Please feel free to play the video again if you need to, prior to submitting your assignment.